everybody and welcome. We are on the home stretch here, and today we are making the cover of our envelope book with the replaceable journal pages in the inside. This is a quick and easy thing to do, and so I think you're gonna like how snappy it is. Then also we want to make our little pages, some replacement pages that'll go with it. We'll make a little folder that it is inserted in. So let's get started on that. This is a journal I'm going to be working on today. This is one of the Christmas ones. What you're going to want to do is cut 2 pieces of background paper. Now I'm just going to use coffee dyed music paper, and what you want it to be is basically 1/4 of an inch at least smaller than the cover of your book, which is the large envelope. So this was for a 5 by 7 card, but it actually measures larger than the card, I believe. So it's 7 1/4 by a little over 5. So keep that in mind as you're cutting, and just cut it so that you can see that there's a little edge all the way around it when you get the paper put on it. Okay? So 2 of those, and then you're going to want to look for a main focal point piece. I chose this Santa piece. He takes up almost the full page. Now, if you have a smaller one, like this one, this is just a little piece, and so I layered it on a larger piece. This is a total of 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 to give you an idea of what you can do. So you can layer it up with several layers like this, or if you have just a piece that's just a commanding piece, you can use one piece like that. The first thing that we want to do is take a look at our cover. You can keep the cover exactly like that, or you can do a little bit of edging on it with your distress ink. I use the Vintage Photo Tim Holtz distress ink. For this one I don't want to use distress ink though. I want it to have white tones on it more so it highlights. So I'm just going to use my finger and tuck it in to this little paint, and I'm just going to rub it along the edges. So that's going to add some variance in the paper coloring, right? That it'll add interesting movement and texture. And I'm going to do that on both sides. Now I don't need to do the middle because I'm going to have paper over that. It's not going to be seen. Okay. Now that I have that on, I want to find the front, make sure I have it in the right direction, and then I'm going to take my music paper. So this is the one I'm going to use. This one has a little bit stronger coffee dyeing on it, so I'm going to use that for the front because it's going to be covered up by my top piece. Okay, let's glue it on. And now the back side. What I want to do now is take some ribbon. It's about, I would say I have about 4 feet of ribbon. I made it a little bit longer, I think, because it's going to be a big bow. So I want to find the middle. Let's see. That's the front. I'm going to turn it around so it's going to be facing your direction. So on the front right here, this is the front, so it's facing you the front. This isn't going to be seen right here. So I'm going to place a glue down here to secure it. And then I'm going to take my piece, and that's going to go on top. Before I lay this down though, I'm going to put a little bit of cheesecloth behind. So I'm going to lay some glue first, and then put the cheesecloth on, and then I'll glue the whole thing down. Perfect. Actually, I want to put just a little bit more in this corner. Okay, so now I'm gonna glue it up. Okay, so that's on. This is going to be freeform over the back unless I put something else over the top. I think I do want to put something else over the top on this particular one because I like the Christmas paper. Okay, I have this piece that I think just looks lovely right there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to secure the ribbon like I did on the other one. Just placing some glue down there. And now gluing this down. So now what I can do is take my paper and I want to cut a, I'm going to place a ribbon, I use all kinds of words for this. I'm going to place a ruffle on the front and then a ruffle on the back cover. I'm going to use the same technique that we've used in the earlier videos. Easy peasy. I'll put a link to that if you haven't seen it yet. So look up above for it. It should be right there. For this one, I want to pull my ribbon back and then place my glue and then place my ribbon. So as I put my ribbon down, I want it shorter in this area right here. Because what's going to happen, my ribbon, as I tie my bow, it's going to push down on the ribbon right there. So I don't want it sticking out quite as far. Okay, so there's the basic cover. I'm going to go ahead and tie a big pretty bow. I like that. So I can keep it as simple as this, or I can go back and I can do extra embellishing on it. But this is good to go if I wanted to keep it as simple as that. The next thing I want to do now is to create a little packet where I have the extra pages in. So you don't have to do this if this is just for you. You can just create extra pages and have them ready to go. But if you're giving this away as a gift, this is just a lovely little addition, a lovely little thing that you can do. So pick a piece of paper. This was made from a regular 8.5 by 11 size. This piece actually comes from 12 by 12 pack. I'm just going to cut off an 8-inch piece. So I have it 12 inches, so it's a little bit longer than the 8.5 by 11 by ½ an inch. No biggie. So what I'm going to do is make my first fold, figure out what I want on the front. And I want the front to be, well, I kind of like that on the front right there. Let me see. I'm going to keep this on the front right here. This is going to be my front, and I'm going to fold this at 5 1/4 inches. So I'm going to just take my ruler, do it the old-fashioned easy way. And fold it. Then what I want to do is fold it, make a fold for the other side, and then turn it back in. So now I've got that. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to put a little hole at the top. If you have a big circle punch, that would be great to use. If you don't, just take a lid of something and then trace out that area and cut it out. So let me show you what it looks like. See that little spot cut out? So that you can get a peek that there's actually paper in the inside. So I'm going to eyeball kind of where I think the middle is and do a little punch. So from there, we're going to close up the page, glue along the bottom, and then glue up the side. So what I liked doing was, these are some of the scraps from the paper that we cut out earlier to put inside the book. I kept those because I can make a nice little band to go around the front of it. So put that there. Might help if I take the lid off. And then what I'm also going to do is put a doily behind it. I like the look of that. So this I can move to the back, that seam. Had I been wise, I would have done that to start with. Okay, there we go. I'm going to put a doily behind it. I'm not going to worry about gluing down the entire thing, but I am going to place some glue right underneath this area at the top and the bottom. That'll just kind of hold it steady, but it'll still let it move. Then what I want to take is a piece of twine. There's a nice red one. And I'm going to tie it around the front, cut it off. So this is actually a good point for me to tell you. When you're tying your pages in the inside, it's good to do a double wrap around. So I've wrapped it around twice there instead of once. It holds better so that you can get your bow made without having quite as much. You can keep your tension better. Okay, so there you go. All you have to do is tuck your paper in. I'll put a link up above somewhere where you can go back and see the measurements of the paper that goes in the inside. So now you have this delightful packet that you can give as a gift. Isn't that wonderful? I really like it. I hope you like it. That is the end of this. So in a few days here, I'll come back on and I'll show you an update of all the other books that I've made and how they ended up turning out. But I hope you like it. It's just a nice, sweet, sweet book to make. So I will talk with you later. I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye.